Hello guys, how are you doing? Welcome to the Full Stack Project YouTube channel. Today's a new tutorial. We'll create this QR code generator website using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. So if you are a full stack developer, going to learn full stack development, this tu this tutorial and also this channel is a great place to get started. So give a thumbs up for this video and make sure you subscribe and put the notification button on. So let me show you what I'm going to do here. So we are going to create this website. So if you give a name and click generate, you can see you create a new QR code. So you can give any name, any website, and click generate. You can see the QR code changes. So this is a very simple website, but yet you can learn some JavaScript, some CSS, and this is a great way to start full stack development. So without further ado guys, let's get started. As usual guys, I have my start HTML code and also I have linked my style.css and I have run the VS Code live server plugin, so it's easy for us to reflect the changes that we do in the HTML and CSS side. First of all, let's create the HTML structure of the application. So my main container will be renamed as search main container here. Instead of container, I'm going to do main container. And inside the main container I have search container, and also I'm going to have another div element with the ID called QR container. And here I'm going to add some text here. Inside the search container I'm going to add the input element and also the button element. And after that, this container will have the image which is generated by our API. So I'm going to add an image element in here. I have given IDs for each of these elements here. For the image, I have given QR code image, and also for the input, I have given some ID, so it's easy to catch using the ID since ID is specific. So it's easy to catch these elements using ID inside the JavaScript. So I have done the main section of the HTML structure, and next let's style this using CSS. Starting with the CSS, first of all, guys, let's reset the default margin and padding of the application here. I'm going to set margin for 0, padding 0, and box sizing for border box. Yeah, so it's all reset. You can see the how the website got changed with the reset values. Next, let's style the body. So to give this background color and stuff, I'm going to share with you guys one awesome website that I'm going to create using to create gradients. It's called cssgradient.io. You can create your own gradient for the background and just copy this one and paste it inside your CSS. So I will paste my gradient that I have got from the website cssgradient.io like this, and you can see I have an awesome gradient background. So I'm going to give display flex value for the body, and I'm going to give justify content center to align this content block horizontally. And then let's style the main container here. I have given a margin top of 20 pixels here, so it makes it nice, and a padding of 20 pixels and 30 pixels. So this 20 pixels comes for top and the bottom, and 30 pixels come from left and the right section. Let's start styling the p tag here. So I have selected p tag using main container p, and please remember that this will select all the p elements inside the main container. So if you have a look at the main container, in the main container here, so any p tag which is inside from here to here. So if you have any p tags inside after button, inside QR code container, any p tag inside the main container class will be selected using this. So remember that if you want to specifically select only this p tag here, you have to add a ID, specific ID, or else you have to use specific style selectors like the first child, those kind of selectors. Next, we are going to style the search container. I have given a display of flex for the search container here, and gap of 10 pixels, and align items center. So this will align both these items, and also I have used justify content center, so it will all the content, the text, the search box, and the input text box and the generate QR button will uh, come at the center. Next, let's style this search container here. It contains this input box and also this generate QR button. I'm going to set display flex, gap of 10 pixels, and I'm going to send about these items using align items to center and justify content center. Then let's style this input box here. And next, let's style the button element in here. Okay, so we have done with the basic styling. What I want to is I want to divide this full width in a ratio between this input box and with this button. So to do that, I'm going to use a property called flex inside the input and the button. So let's see how we are going to do that. We are going to divide it on 1:5 ratio. Give flex 5 here, and I'm going to give flex value of 1 here. So now it has been divided in 1:5 ratio. And next what we are going to do is we are going to style this image section. This is the place that we are going to insert our image. So I'm going to style this QR container. And before that, I thought of adding a box shadow, a kind of slightly shadow for this button here. So let's quickly add that one. Next, let's start styling this QR code container here. So style something using ID, we are going to use hashtag. You won't be able to reflect the changes since we haven't added any image yet. And also let's add some styling for the image tag here, which is going to be the image which is inside this QR code container. So we have added the styles for the QR container, then tag container, and we are going to add some styling specifically for the image which is inside this QR container. So we are going to select using CSS selector like this. I'm going to set width 100% and padding. Okay, so we have styled most of this part, and let's move with the JavaScript section of the application. For this tutorial, to generate the QR code, we are going to use this website here. So goqr.me/API. Once we click on this link here, you can see it easily created an QR image. So if you this QR image is based on this word called example here. So if we change this thing word to anything, you can see the relevant QR image is generated. So what we are going to do is we are going to copy this URL here, paste it as a comment. So let me explain what we are going to do here is. So what we are going to do is this is a link for an image, right? You saw it. This is a link for an image. So we are going to add this URL in the src field here using JavaScript, and we are going to manipulate this last word here after the equal sign. We are going to take this word from the text we are going to insert from here. So once someone enters the text inside this input box, we are going to grab its value using JavaScript and append it for the string here, and we are going to replace this entire string as the src field in our image tag. First of all, let's add the script tags here. And as I said, to do that, we have to grab, first of all, we have to grab the input text here. Then we have to grab this QR code image box here and this src value so that we can replace it. So we have selected this QR code container here and specifically this image here, image tag here, and also the input text here. We have used get element by ID JavaScript method to capture these segments. And also what we have to do is once someone click on this generate QR button, we have to trigger a function. So let's create that function now. So I have already added this function name in here. It's called generate QR code. So once you click this button, this function get triggered through this on click. What we have to do inside this function is we have to change, we have to get the value of this input text, add it to this string here, and replace the value in the src field. So let's do that now. I'm going to check whether it's working. We have missed the equal button. Okay, so I have dropped the console log here and I have confirmed. Okay, can see now it's working. So src here, everything is working fine. So now we have to do some, uh, some sort of fine tune of the code. What we have to do is, like, if this code is, if it's empty, right? If it, once it's empty, we have to, you know, uh, we should disable this function. So to do that, I'm going to add a simple if statement here. And if the what we are going to do is, if the length of this text value, input text value, is less than 0, we are going to escape from adding this image on here. You can see if the input value is empty, this generate QR will not uh, trigger in and replace the src value. And one thing is, once we reload this file, you can see this empty image here. So we have to avoid that one. So we'll do it using some CSS manipulation. So what we have to do is, first of all, let's make this image box, this image container, hidden, right? And once the image is generated, once this function is generated, we are going to make it display. So let's do this style in here. So inside the QR code uh, container, let's set the max height to 0. Okay, and since we have set the overflow to hidden, it's not showing anything. If we remove it, you can see this image is shown. So we should add this overflow to hidden. Then let's create another class called show container. We're going to create another class called show container. Let's set max height to 300 pixel here. So what I'm going to do is, once we create the QR image, once it's ready to display, we are going to add the show container using JavaScript for our HTML block. Let's add, a slide border as well. And once the image is replaced, let's add our generated class here. So we are going to add it for the QR code container, this one here. Okay, don't keep a gap in between these selectors. So now it's working. We have the border, we have the padding and everything. And also, like, once someone click this with empty text box, we are going to remove this class so that our image box will hide again. Let's do it like this. Okay. Okay, we have the QR code, and once someone clear it and click again, it gets removed. So that's it, guys. So we have added all this JavaScript here, and I hope you learned something out of it. You can style it as you like, but there's some bit of things you can try and play with it using simple JavaScript and manipulate in CSS. It seems interesting, and hope you guys enjoyed and learned something out of it. And always try to do it yourself and test with yourself. That's how you can understand all these basic concepts. And I hope to meet you with you guys with another awesome tutorial. And make sure you subscribe and have a nice day, guys.